Let's watch that again. Hold on. What? What did he just say?
For me, what really drives it is the scientific question is there a creator underneath the universe? Because if
So that's not atheism. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to FLM. Today, we're going to be discussing whether or not Richard Dawkins actually is an atheist, and if he is an atheist, what kind of atheism does he believe in? Let's get into it.
go from even saying it's a good thing, even saying that I wish there were more Christianity in the world, even to say that is nothing to do with believing its truth claims. I mean, truth claims like there is a divine creator who made the universe and made the laws of physics. There's a divine creator who made the world, who listens to our prayers, who forgives our sins, who sent Jesus to be born of a virgin and then had him crucified. I mean, those are all truth claims.
Of course, none of that matters as long as it helps us fight Putin.
So basically, according to Richard Dawkins, he likes Christianity and he's even claimed to have wanted more Christianity in the world in the terms of, I'm assuming, how Christians behave. However, these truth claims about Christianity, he just simply dismisses them as if they're fairy tales, but doesn't really give them a chance and has. I truly don't think he's actually looked into them. I just think he's surface level researched it maybe by reading the Gospels or parts of the Bible, but not necessarily having researched and looked into any actual evidence for these claims.
Conversion, issuing a similar skepticism as many atheists have been, saying, well, we care about Christianity as a set of truth claims. We care about it saying something real about the world. If somebody can become a Christian just by preferring it as a more comfortable worldview, what does that say about Christianity? I mean, I said a moment ago that, well, for us, religion just is a social tool, essentially. And I think that the ability to adopt Christianity just because of its social function is evidence in favor of our case, that that's all religion is.
Yeah, I think we agree about that. I think where we perhaps don't agree, no, I wouldn't say we disagree. I would say that our fundamental motivation is a bit different, because I think that for you, well, if I ask you what you think the worst thing about Christianity is, I suspect you'd say something moral, something about the problem of evil, something about the horrific ideas of Paul and the early Christian fathers, that we're all born in sin and we needed the death of Jesus to save us. That's the kind of thing that I suspect drives your atheism. Whereas for me, that's irrelevant. I mean, for me, I talk about.
Again, he is simply just dismissing the truth claims about Christianity, doesn't really give them a chance. And like I said, in the way he expresses himself, it seems to me like he barely knows what he's talking about when it comes to Christianity. I think he only knows about the claims. I don't think he knows about the evidence behind these claims.
For me, what really drives it is the scientific question is there a creator underneath the universe? Because if there is, then it's a profoundly different kind of universe.
Hold on a second. Wait, let's watch that again. Hold on. What? What did he just say?
For me, what really drives it is the scientific question is there a creator underneath the universe? Because
So that's not atheism. Richard Dawkins is not an atheist. Richard Dawkins, my friends, is an agnostic. He doesn't know whether or not there is or is not a creator. And let me tell you, that is not atheism. Atheism is opposed to the idea of theism. You're anti theists, so to speak. You are not wondering whether or not there is or is not a God. You are sure, you are certain, and you are against the idea of the existence of a creator or a deity. However, Richard Dawkins just said that he doesn't know whether or not there is or is not a creator. Man, I mean, I don't know about you, but that does not sound like atheism to me. Let's keep watching.
there is, then it's a profoundly different kind of universe from a scientific point of view. From if there isn't, to me, that's the big question.
That's the big question, of course. I mean, it should be everybody's big question, but I mean, it's so funny. Wow, that's not atheism at all. And I'm sorry if I'm kind of being a little if I'm focusing too much on this, but Richard Dawkins is the number one most well-known atheist in the world, and he is not even an atheist. I mean, can we even call him the most famous atheist around the world? Mr. Dawkins here is actually going to get into some parts of the Bible. He actually kind of butchers them along with Alex. And actually, Alex corrects him on the Bible and actually shows him that he's wrong, which to me is kind of amazing, but stick around and you'll see.
The big problem of design, as William Paley put it, was life. He said something like the physical world is not the best place in which to demonstrate the existence of the creator because it's too simple. I think he was right. And he was also right when he said that the really big problem for religion is life. And yes. His whole book is based upon looking at design in the living world. Darwin solved that. So Darwin solved the big one. And
Darwin solved the big one. Okay, let's see what he says here.
And we have some remaining problems. The arc hasn't really reached its end. We still have some problems with the origin of the laws of physics, the origin of the universe.
So Darwin solved the big one as his claim, but then he continues to say, we still have some problems with the origin of everything. The origin of physics and especially the origin of the universe. But Darwin solved the big one? Come on, Richard. I mean, and then what he says next.
But I think that the fact that Darwin solved the big one should give us confidence. That was the really difficult one. The amazing.
That was the really difficult one. So you're just throwing out the window the idea of how the universe began, and you're making that second or even third to the theory of evolution discovered by Charles Darwin. That is so intellectually dishonest on Dawkins' end. To say that the beginning of the universe is not the big one, and to say that evolution is the big one, is baffling, and it's dishonest.
Apparent design in the living world. I mean, that is such a staggeringly overwhelming impression of design. There's no question about that, and that was the one that Darwin solved.
Darwin solves the problem of complexity within living organisms, but I think it might be a step too far to say he solved the problem of life, because of course one of the questions that we have to throw into that bundle of things yet to explain, the origin of physics, the origin of life.
I mean, I can't believe that Alex O'Connor, he's also an atheist. I actually wouldn't really call him an atheist. I think all atheists are actually agnostic. They just don't admit it because they're too prideful. But he actually corrects Richard Dawkins on this. He says that it's a bit too far to claim that Charles Darwin solved the issue on life, because if you claim that, then that means that Charles Darwin has the answer to everything, because life is everything. If there's no life on this planet, there's nothing.
Blood cell, then the Milky Way would be the size of the continental United States.
Yeah, now, it's terrifying.
We might need to fact check that exact example, yes. But and that's just the Milky Way. And yes. When you consider that, are you saying that, in a materialistic universe, life can just sort of pop into existence? Well, I understand the suspicion that might be something unimaginably unlikely, but we're in an unimaginable universe. Yes. So that's a wonderful way of thinking.
I wouldn't want to resort to that. Right. I think we don't need to. By the way, the possibility of the glass moving across the table, it's there. But I once asked a physicist what the probability is, and he said if you started writing zeros at the origin of the universe, you'd still be writing zeros at this.
Right.
So we probably don't have to go that far. Yes. In art. We can have a sort of spectrum of improbabilities. And
so, I mean, this is beautiful. Richard Dawkins is arguing that the existence of everything and how everything came to be, the possibilities for that to have been an accident are basically impossible. In other words.
I already see, a theist cutting this up and saying atheists admit that their worldview is unimaginably unlikely.
We don't want to go there.
We don't want to go there. See, even Alex sees the danger with this, but Richard Dawkins says we don't want to go there. Why? Because he's afraid of admitting that there is a chance for a creator. He believes it. He just doesn't want to admit that he believes that there is even a slight chance for there being a creator, right? I don't believe it's a slight chance. I believe it's an enormous chance. I believe actually that it is factual that God created the universe and everything within it. And I think Richard Dawkins, deep down, is open to that possibility. And that I think he will not admit it because he is prideful to admit that.